Hello everyone and welcome back. In this part we're going to start modeling the body, or the base mesh for the body. So first things first, we have our cube still in the center here. What we want to do is right click to select it if it's not already selected, and hit tab to go into edit mode. Now we're going to hit Control R to add a loop cut. We're going to left click once and then we're going to right click to make sure that loop cut is perfectly in the center. Now I'm going to hit Control Tab to change this to face select mode. I'm going to right click the center face here. I'm going to hit X and we're going to delete the vertices. Next we're going to go to our modifiers tab here. We're going to go to add modifier and then we're going to go to mirror and then check clipping. So now that we so what we did is basically when I manipulate one side, the other side will be manipulated. So A to select, so A to deselect, A to select everything, one of the number pad, G to grab, and hit Z to lock that to the Z axis. We're going to just move the cube up to right there. We're going to scale it down, and then click on the red arrow, move it inward. Move that up. There we go. So, we're going to get started lining the cube up. So we're going to change this to edge select mode. I'm going to select this edge here and just bring it down. I'm going to bring this up here. I'm starting off with the side view. Get that lined up nicely. We're not worrying about having it fit the shape of the body perfectly just yet, because we don't have enough geometry to work with yet, but we will soon. So let's select the face here. Let's move that up. Excuse me. And we got the flow of the faces going. All right. Let's change back to edge select. Let's move this down. Alright. So now I want to add an edge loop in here in the center. So let's hit Control R and place our cursor right there in the center of that edge. Left click, right click. There we go. So now we can start, hit Control Tab, go to vertex mode, and start aligning the vertices on the side. I'm forming this bit here in the shape of where the arm will be extruded from. Now you notice we have a strong V shape here, so we're going to hit Control R, add an edge loop there, and move some of these back up, like so. So it's not so sharp. And we're going to continue manipulating the vertices. We're not worrying about capturing the little details. We're just getting the basic shape of the body going at this point in time. Okay, so we're going to line this up with the line of the this bone here. Alright. I think we're almost good. We're going to add one more edge loop in here. Control R in the center of this line. Right, left click, right click, and just gonna move this up a bit, like so. round this off a little bit. Still sharp, but we'll smooth it out later. Okay. Oopsie daisy. Alrighty. So we have these vertices here lined up with the rest of the body. Or not the rest of the body, but we have it aligned with the top of the body. So I'm just getting the basic shape of just the body right now. We're not going to worry about the arms yet. We're only thinking about the basic shape of the body. Can edit it in the 3D view too, or also just so that you can get a better sense of what all is happening. Okay. And move this up also. So I want these 3 vertices here to be up here. I don't want this getting confused. Okay, there we go. Oopsie daisy. Alright. Alright. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this into the shoulder and then extrude the arm out there. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. So go to face mode, select these 4 faces. Going to hit E, extrude. We're going to extrude these out. G to grab, move them in. Like so. Alright, now we commence further vertex manipulation. Let's move that up. We're going to create the rib cage here. Alright, that's why it's good to have the background images so that you can see where everything will be placed. There we go. Alright, and we're going to select these 4 faces again. I'm just going to move them down a little bit here, then move them over. Because we're not relying solely on the geometry of this model for the muscle structure. We're going to be sculpting that. So I'm just getting the basic shape. Alright. Now, then we hit E to extrude again. We're going to extrude down this way. SZ, scale that, make that a bit flat. I'm going to hit R to rotate that down. I'm going to move it down to about right there. So, now we're going to make some edge loops in here. So Control R, and you see we only have 1 purple line here. To make more, scroll up on your mouse wheel. We're going to make 3. Left click, right click. I'm just going to hit G to move all those in, change this to vertex. And now one tool that's really helpful for us when modeling is proportional editing. So in order to turn it on, you can go down here to this blank circle, click it. Now if you click enable, what will happen is the proportional editing affects everything around it no matter what it's connected to. If you turn on connected, however, we can manipulate the vertices down here without greatly affecting the top too much. And to change the influence of proportional editing, just scroll down your mouse because it's activated when you hit G to grab or S to scale or R to rotate. So in order to change the influence, just once you're performing one of the operations, just scroll the mouse wheel down to lower it or scroll it up to increase it. Alright, so I'm going to come in here, lowering that just a little bit. It speeds up modeling a lot, and when they added the tool, it was one of the best days of my life. Okay, or maybe not when they added it, but when I figured out that the tool was a thing. There we go. Just move those in there. Okay, so we kind of neglected the side view for a minute, so we're going to go back to the side view and make sure everything is all hunky-dory there, and it's not. So we're going to select these, and we're going to move them up. We're also going to scale these on the y-axis. Move those up some more. Select the bottom ones, and move these up. There we go. Alrighty. Okay. Okay. All right. So now it's a bit. It looks a bit. It resembles the images more now. Okay. All right. So we have the basic structure of the body. So next, just so that we can keep this going, we're going to extrude the shoulders. So go to face select mode. Remember that's Control Tab to change that. We're going to move these up, and we're going to hit E to extrude. We're going to hit R to rotate. Scale the influence down. G to grab. S to scale. R to rotate. G to grab. S to scale. Okay. So that's that in the front view, and in the side view, I'm just going to move these back a little bit. Vertex mode. Going to come in here, and we're going to do some quick fixes. Give that a little crease there, and you can tell that that's the chest. Okay. Now you can clearly see that these are exaggerated, kind of comic style proportions. So this is not for realism, 100% realism per se. Okay. So I'm gonna move these up, and I'm going to move this line here. I'm gonna Alt and right click, select the entire loop of edges. I'm just gonna move that down so that I can shape this better. I'm gonna shape it in the front and side and back views. Also give it a bit more definition. Okay, and I'm going to Control R, add a loop in there so that I can get that. And that also allows us to add a bit more definition in the shoulder region. Okay. Alright. Now we'll be extruding the arm. So go to face mode, select these 4 faces, and just hit E to extrude. We're going to extrude to about right there, and then we're going to hit G to grab to move it the rest of the way. SX, scale that just to flatten that out a little bit. Now we're going to select this vertex in the center, hit X and delete vertices. We're going to then select this, hit W. Now if you don't have the loop tools function already enabled, basically you should hit Control Alt U to go to your user preferences, go to add-ons, and if you search loop, if you type in LOO, you should find loop tools. So just check that box, click Save User Settings, and then when you hit W, see Daisy, when you hit W, loop tools will be an option. So we're going to go from loop tools and we're going to click circle. This basically rounds out our geometry, which is exactly what we want. Alright, we're going to scale it down here. We're going to add some edge loops in here. We're going to add 3 edge loops in here. Okay, so we're going to start trying to match the shape as much as possible. Again, we're not worrying too much about capturing all the minute details because we're going to be sculpting those later on. We're just getting the shape right now. And so we don't have a reference image for the top. However, because I have I've studied anatomy, I know a little bit about where or how some of these muscles should look without needing a reference image. Move these up. Move these back. Move that up. That's Y. Scale that in. Okay. So now that we have that, we're going to continue to extrude. So we're going to extrude. Whoopsie days. I'm going to E extrude all the way down here for that. Alright, now you Control R, and we're going to add just one edge loop for now, and we're going to scale that up here. Alright, and in the back, I'm going to give some indication of an elbow. Just a little bit. We're going to sculpt in the detail later. And we're not going to worry about the hands at all right now. We just wanted to make sure that we had the body structure. And this is pretty good. So, one thing that we can do before we go any further, I'm going to just do a bit more editing. Again, topology here doesn't matter. as much, but that doesn't mean you should be reckless with it. I always believe that if you practice solid topology, no matter what stage in modeling you're at, you don't get lazy when you actually get to a part where you need to know what good topology is. So I always strive for good topology, or as I try to as much as possible, so that my models, you know, no matter what stage they're in, you can tell that they had some level of thought taken into them, and weren't just a bunch of random vertices thrown all over the place for the sake of quickness. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bend in the arm. So I'm going to select these. Whoopsie daisy. Select these two. R to rotate. Bend that, and then I'm going to select the rest of these. Control R. G to grab. Move those back. I'm going to Control R again for that bend. There we go. It's always good to have a slight bend in your arms. Alrighty. So that's it for this part. In the next part, we will continue box modeling, and this next time we're going to box model the pants. So I'll see you then.